site of the orbital discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Wavecon 2024 is going to be here before we know it, August 2nd through the 4th. It is Blind Wave University is the theme this time, and we are hosting it at Marietta College. Remember, tickets are limited and on sale now. Head over to blindwave.com/wavecon to buy your tickets today and enroll in Blind Wave University. Class dismissed. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Blind Wave Podcast. Aaron is not here today because he lost so badly in Smash. He was ashamed.
He was very shamed.
So it's just us. But we are going to be playing Smash on Saturday with a very special stream where we're going to be heading over to Marietta College, which you saw in that ad just a second ago. Same place Wavecon is going to be happening. We're going to be fighting against the Marietta College esports team, specifically their Smash team. It's going to be great. Make kids cry, bro.
I mean, we hope.
I hope so.
I hope.
Someone's going to be crying. Jake just looked over confused. Is it something we should be worried about?
Eric. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I turned my mic down accidentally. Is it amazingly better now? Is it not a stream without a technical difficulty? I'm sorry. Okay, my bad. But yes, if I wasn't heard earlier, we will beat children.
Yes.
No, they're not children. They're young adults. Right?
Probably.
Some of them are probably kids.
They're students. So.
But it'll be a good time. When's that going to start? Tomorrow? Anyone know?
That starts on Saturday.
Saturday, right.
At 10? 10 a.m.?
I believe it's 10, yeah.
10 a.m.
It's going to be right here on the Blind Wave Twitch, as well as the YouTube. So you don't have to go anywhere to check that out, but make sure you do. Have a good time.
Absolutely.
Eric, can you turn your headphones down?
Yeah, I don't know why it's so
Thank
loud.
you.
Sorry. I'm
It's
just
all right.
messing everything up. Yeah, let's do this. That should do it. All right.
Cool stuff. All right, well, did anyone have anything extraordinary happening this week?
Oh, extraordinary? I wouldn't say extraordinary. Yeah, I didn't really have anything extraordinary. I've been dealing with some health stuff, so I've been taking the time to actually do that. You know, I don't know if you know about me, but I'm terrible at taking care of myself.
I do know this. It
As
was
are-
why I was very worried when you got your diagnosis.
Yeah.
But I knew you were in good hands with Jancy.
Yeah, I'm in good hands with Jancy. I'm in good hands with the medical professionals around me, and I'm just adjusting to some medication now, and I'm feeling a lot better than I have in the last couple months, I will say.
You have seemed like you felt better.
Yep,
That's
feel
great.
a lot better. Still dealing with some energy level stuff, but it's getting a lot more manageable now. So, just doing that.
That's very good.
Yep. I just want to go over there on Saturday, take my pills and beat those kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
on 420. Hopefully they'll be too high to even know where they are.
Yeah.
We can use every advantage we can get.
We can. They're
Yeah.
going to be very talented.
Our reflexes are not what they used to be.
Absolutely
No,
not.
that's definitely
And they
true.
weren't great when they were.
I feel like that's the only reason why I'm winning more in Smash.
Because we're
I'm not getting
declining.
better. You guys
Yeah.
are just getting worse.
Your youth overus is giving you the advantage.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a delay when that starts to set in. Maybe
It's true. You don't know one among us who doesn't wear glasses now.
that's true. Yeah,
Though mine are not prescription. Not yet, anyway.
That is true.
Probably someday. But yeah, for the week, it's been a lot of thought on Smash. A lot of just like looking up Aizawa videos of what to do with Ike.
Been reading The Art of War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Getting the mindset.
I'm on a surprise,
Yeah.
really. I wonder how much scouting they have done against us, if any.
well, they have plenty of resources
I suppose so.
considering that we stream.
Little do they know,
Our
we've
matches.
actually been on purpose playing poorly for years
Yeah.
for this one.
We actually
battle.
don't use GameCube
Until
controllers.
reveal, Eric.
Yeah.
When we're serious, we use the nunchucks.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I did actually think about sandbagging this Saturday, so when Wavecon comes around, people who have only seen that and are thinking like, oh, okay, we'll go and take them. But
Could do that.
who
Well,
knows?
you guys had a fun time this week. You got to see a show Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I did not get to go see it, but it looked like it was a lot. I heard about it. It's a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was Who's Live, which is a good portion of cast of the show. Whose Line Is It Anyway? It was Ryan Stiles, Greg Proops, Jeff Davies, and a new guy, Joel. Can't remember his last name.
Okay.
But he's been
Another improv master.
a bit part actor in a bunch of TV shows and comedy shows and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
As well.
Okay.
And they put on a Whose Line Is It Anyway improv show here in Marietta. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good time for sure. I love that show. I grew up with that show. It was the kind of show where usually I went to bed pretty early as a kid, but sometimes I'd have trouble sleeping. And it was one of the shows I couldn't watch because my laughter would wake up my parents.
Yeah. I watched the British version when I was a kid on Comedy Central. They would just run it all day. So a lot of my summer vacations were filled with Whose Line Is It Anyway, and then of course the Drew Carey years and the newer stuff.
I haven't seen any of the newer stuff other than like clips on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
There's some really good stuff in there. Yeah.
I should check it out.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite like guest star?
Guest?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Immediately, I must rank them. Guest star?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to beat.
At the time, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, this Richard. What was his name?
Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons.
Simmons. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that might have been the one I went for as well.
He's
that was
probably
surprisingly hilarious.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It was a good sport. I really enjoyed Jody China.
China. I remember China being on there. Robin Williams, whenever he was on, did a really good job.
Absolutely.
Different style, of course, than some of the other cast members, but still genius. He did a good job. Steve Colbert, I think, was on there one time.
Yeah.
I think did a good job.
Was Whoopi Goldberg on there?
I think so, yeah.
I think so. But in terms of like a guest star, one appearance, yeah, the Richard Simmons ones are pretty gold.
Curious to see who chat has.
Yeah.
A lot of Robin Williams, which is he's so energetic.
Yeah. Definitely justified.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, it's a great show, formative show. I was sad that I wasn't able to get tickets. They were sold out by the time I looked.
Yeah, they sold out pretty quickly.
Yeah, which does that theater sell out often?
I've been there a few times, and I've never been to a sellout.
Yeah, I think that was the first time it sold out for a decent while.
Yeah, sure.
They get a lot of like cover bands and old like music bands and stuff like that in there doing tours.
Occasionally, someone will show that you're like, oh, I think I know that person.
Sure.
The Whose Line one's probably it is the only time I've been tempted to go to the tickets and see what's there. But
as kids, Aaron and I were fans of Whose Line, and I can recall at least two separate occasions where we set up my video camera and did our own version with our friends.
Oh, really?
And they were terrible.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely awful.
Yeah.
It looks so easy.
I still have those.
Yes, Rick.
And I've shown Evie our other home movies, but those I take to my grave.
You might want to keep that one. Yeah.
They need to be seen, though. They need to be witnessed. It's cathartic.
Only if we did it again.
Oh, yeah, to show like how much better you've got.
Because I think
that would be okay.
I mean, I couldn't do worse, but I think I would be better.
We had an improv contest my junior and senior year, where you would create a group and then you would be judged against other groups. The first year we did it, we swept it, and they had to change the rules to break up our group.
Oh, no.
So then they broke up our group, and then one of the groups that I wasn't on didn't do well. We swept it again the next year.
Sounds amazing.
So that was a lot of fun. There was a teacher that I had. His name was Mr. VK Von Kennel. And he was the guy who introduced me to The Hobbit, and the guy that was like, I think you'd be good at improv. We should do like an improv thing.
Nice.
And just by talking to me and a couple friends, he was the one that put it all together and was the judge and did the games. And he just,
well, no wonder you won. He had a vested interest.
I suppose he did, but he was just he was always really good about, like, whenever he saw someone get a passion about something, he would go hard on what that was, you know?
Fantastic. That's what you want from a teacher.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah. And I barely was in his classes either. We just had shared interests, so I would, like, on study hall, go be like an aide for him or something sometimes. But, yeah, he put on those shows, and I don't know if they continued after, but I don't hear about them anymore. But for 2 years, doing improv in front of the entire school is probably, like, one of the things that I can look back on and be like, oh, I kind of do improv in front of a lot of people now for a job, brutal reactions and discussions and that type of thing. But it's one of the first ones where you feel like you have a lot of control over what you're doing, as opposed to a play or a skit or something like that. Anything can happen, and it's only if you're able to stretch that muscle in front of people will it work.
Yeah, Rugi says, Blind Wave, Who's Line live at Wavecon. That sounds
That would be pretty
like a fun but potentially terrible idea.
It could be terrible.
Be terrible. We might top your home videos.
Yeah.
We can't do it the first day, because if it's so bad, everyone will just go home.
Yeah.
Leave.
Yeah, they'll just
stay in their
unsubscribe.
rooms. From the secondhand cringe.
Too bad. Speaking of, like, teachers encouraging passions, I've been getting back into one of my passions recently, with writing.
Oh, yeah.
Been writing a lot more recently.
Sure.
Awesome.
My grandmother, when I was a kid, wrote a Choose Your Own Adventure story about me and my friend going to this, like, world of the dinosaurs. Cool. That was sort of like the first thing that kind of inspired me. And then she wasn't even one of my teachers, but she was the teacher at the school, encouraged me to do it more. And I've kind of done it on and off since then. Just something I've been kind of going back to and writing more poetry, short fiction stuff.
Sure. Okay.
So,
And now that you're getting back more into it, do you find yourself needing to get into the same type of, like, writing space when you're writing, or is it something that you can kind of, like, sit down and do anywhere?
So I've actually been starting a series of poems that are entitled Walmart with a number.
Okay.
So I Walmart is a terrible environment for my autism.
Yes.
So I if I can help it, I do not go inside. So sometimes I will, like, wait in the car while Maggie goes in, does the shopping.
Yeah.
And for the last few times, I have been writing poems based on the people I have seen coming out of Walmart.
Okay, yeah. Well,
My family had a game like this.
there's absolutely, people of Walmart that I've seen around social medias.
Yeah.
Where other such collections are done, but this is in the captured in the form of poetry.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm insanely intrigued.
I can read you one of them. I have one that's mostly done,
Okay.
I think. Let me see if I can find it
I would like to
here.
hear the poem, and then Calvin and I need to describe the person you're speaking of. Is that what we're gonna do?
We can try.
We can try.
I suppose. I don't
see.
know.
No harm in trying.
Take me a
I mean,
little
there
bit
might
to get it here.
if they
but
recognize themselves.
I have been putting some of my poems on our Discord.
Cool.
blindwave.gg/Discord. There's a creative writing channel. That's the word I'm looking for. All right, let's see if I can find it here.
I was only asking about the headspace because I feel like I'm weird in that I have to get into, like, the writing mindset. I have to be outside by myself, moving around. I have to, like, be in a space moving to like, create.
Yeah, I also pace a lot when I'm writing.
Yeah.
As well. But so if I'm just sitting somewhere and am inspired by something, I can just sort of write it. But if like someone else gives me the prompt, then I have to, like, walk around more.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. I also, if I'm doing something creative like that, I feel like I do want to, like, give my body something to do while my brain is, like, being super active. Because otherwise I just get really, like, a lot of anxious energy that I need to get out.
All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Out of Walmart he tread, in an old shirt that said, 2020, vote red. Back then he didn't know that precious dream he sowed was his last. He let go. These days, time moves fast. Now that he's in the past, left wondering how long that shirt's gonna last.
Pretty good. Pretty good. And it does make sense to buy your merch during the first term election.
Yeah.
Because you can just reuse it the next term.
Sure.
Huh. Wow. Yeah. That's good. I like that, Rick. It's very evocative.
Not too.
Yeah.
I feel like I can see him.
I feel like I can see everyone that comes out of Walmart.
But that's the first in a series, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, people at Walmart around here especially, like it used to be a little more, I feel like more disturbing. But Walmart's one of the only choices we have now, so
Sure.
it's not
Yeah.
like there's a lot of alternate places for people to go. So you're
Yeah.
gonna go to Walmart, you're gonna go to what, Ollie's? You know?
I mean, there's Kroger,
Sure.
there's Giant Eagle,
Yeah,
but
I get you. I mean, it's either I feel like people are shopping online or going to Walmart whenever they really need something right then.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I've seen lots of interesting things in Walmart
me
parking
too.
lots.
Oh, me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
Hypodermic needles.
Yeah, no,
A
I've
guy
seen.
filling a water gun with pee and shooting people with it, and
Mm-hmm.
lots of different stuff.
Didn't our Walmart have a guy that was like
Well, yeah.
throwing
There was-
semen at people?
There was a worse version of that story
There's
where
a much worse version of it.
the
Yeah, I
evolution
remember
of
that.
throwing pee on people was he was jacking off into a water gun and squirting it on people.
Jesus.
But yeah.
I just thought of that.
Yep.
So yeah, maybe that will be next week's poem.
Hopefully you don't see that happening.
You see, I gotta go outside and pace.
Don't worry, Baba. This was years ago.
Yeah, that was a very long time ago.
This was like what? Definitely like at least 12 years ago, right?
I don't know.
It was while I was in school. So probably 2011,
Yeah,
2010, 2011.
rough.
Was it Walmart where someone's head got knocked against their car and their eye came out?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
There was a fight.
Yep. Involving a knife, right?
Yeah. Someone pulled a knife to a fist fight, and then the other person retaliated and threw them headfirst into their car,
God.
and their eyeball popped out of their socket,
Mm-hmm.
and it was hanging by the optic nerve.
You know, sometimes it's like, all right, look, we're gonna get in a fight. But what do I always say? Move to the grass.
Go to the grass.
Let's go to the grass. Come on, guys. I want to get in a fight. I don't want to go to jail for
Yeah.
manslaughter
Exactly.
because you tripped.
This is mutual combat, not
Yeah.
murder.
I've been saying that far before I just tripped and knocked myself out on concrete.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been saying that for years. Let's go to the grass. There's so much grass near Walmart.
I remember there was one time when I was a kid
Most of it's full of dog poop.
Yeah.
that my dad and his brother, it wasn't like an angry fight, but it was like a wrestling match, and like they knew to start it on the grass
Yeah.
because that's just what you do.
That's what you do. Absolutely.
If you don't have a bed of flowers, then
Yeah.
bed of grass.
Even carpet can be too much at times.
Carpet burns.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
burns real bad.
Calvin has firsthand experience. I have that video as
Yeah,
well.
you do.
I can so clearly remember, like, when I was a kid, my dad and I would wrestle every night, you know?
Yeah.
And I know the exact moment it stopped. It's when I, in a submission hold, couldn't get out, decided to kick his nuts. And I remember him like, well, not doing that anymore. He's like, he's learning too much.
He's too advanced.
Yep. I was super young, but I can remember it. I can remember my mom laughing. Ugh. He was not happy.
And my uncle and I used to box when I was fairly young, and that went on until I blooded his nose once. Then it no longer went on.
Yeah. For some reason, all of the, like, you know, physical domination stuff stopped once I became the tallest, biggest person
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
house. Oh, the
Yeah.
baby's big
It-
now. Let's stop doing this
You
silly
sense
stuff.
a pattern to where
Yeah.
like they're okay with it so long as they're the top dog, but the first time they lose, they're like, this is no longer fun.
Oh, that's funny. We were watching the show this week, and there was a part where it's like, yeah, they locked you in a cage when you were a kid. Like it's a game that they played. It's fucked up. And I was going like, I don't know, stuff like that happened to me. I had older
Sure.
siblings.
Yeah.
You get bored on the farm.
Yeah, that happened. You don't take it personally. So the Walmart run. It used to be even worse when we had Walmart open all night,
Oh, but I
24/7.
loved it though.
Yeah.
Just go there at like 3 a.m. Nobody was there, not even the typical Walmart goers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like the creatures of Walmart that just see posted in compilations online.
Yeah.
Like just nobody, just the stocking staff. And they all had headphones in. None of them wanted to talk to you. It was great.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore. They close at like 10 on weeknights now.
I was not alone, but I remember a time being between gym memberships where you'd go into the weight section, get your workout in.
Yeah. Way back in the back of the
Yeah.
sporting goods. Yeah.
I remember. Oh, yeah. I had a cousin that I would refuse to go to Walmart with because no matter what, he would steal something, and I'm always like, "Man, we're gonna get caught." I can't get barred from the toy aisle.
Right?
know?
Like,
But
you
he
were-
would just go and like be like, "Oh, this Matchbox car is sweet," and he'd take the package and he'd go to like the girls section where no one was, and he'd just rip it open, put it in his pocket, and stuff the packaging somewhere.
Yeah.
He's like, "All right, let's go," and it was like nothing. I remember just sweating. Like I didn't even do it, but that was before they had cameras and all that stuff.
Ugh.
And I
Yeah,
would feel
talk
guilty
about-
while we're playing with the Matchbox car, and I'm like, I can't do this.
Talk about like earlier, like Walmart's like the only place we have to go for some things. Like
Yep.
if you get banned from there,
Yeah.
that's it. Like, what are your options?
When I was a kid, we would go to town, which is usually dinner, Walmart, and grandma's. And, I would be able to use my allowance from working on the farm every week. But sometimes it was like, crap. Like, I can get this one figure, maybe this one Dragon Ball Z tape, I can get one thing with my allowance pretty much.
Yeah.
And occasionally you're going to run into 3 things that you want, and you don't want anyone to take it. So you have to go hide them in Walmart so that later you can find them and pay for them. That's what I would do. I wouldn't shoplift. I would hide it somewhere.
Yeah, you would stash it
Yeah.
for safekeeping
Yeah.
within the confines of the law.
I would come to find out that more people did that than me, and it became a thing for, like, you to go and look for what other people were hiding.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's almost like a modern day geocaching.
A little bit, yeah.
Like, try to find someone else's stash and raid it.
You have to be careful about where you hit it, because if they got it inventorying, they would
Yeah.
put it back where it belonged, and then it'd be in the front.
I clearly remember it would have been around 1999, when episode 1 was coming out, and the Darth Maul figure was the hardest one to get. And no matter what, people bought them all up. So I remember I finally found it, but I also needed to get the new DBZ tape. Like, I needed to know what happened next. Because that was, I might watch Dragon Ball Z on Toonami, but you have no control on where you're watching it.
Yeah.
So I needed to be where I was.
Sure.
So I made the choice to get the Dragon Ball Z one and hide Darth Maul. And I hit it, and I came back the next day, and it was gone.
Ah.
Damn, somebody watched you.
And I never found one.
Somebody
until-
probably following you around the store
Yeah.
watching you carry that Darth Maul figure.
Probably.
Like
And
2 aisles over.
Yeah.
Saw you stash it.
Yep.
I'm glad, Dr. Stone style, we have, as a human race, gotten technology to a point where kids don't have to go through that Dragon Ball Z problem again.
That is true. That was a problem.
Because, yeah, I was similar with, like, Power Rangers tapes. It was like, yep, that's how I'm going to watch them.
It's so interesting to me to think about media used to be made. Like, think about the first Star Wars movie. Like, it's so rewatchable. You can go back and watch it again and again and again. But it was initially made for you to watch it once.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
With the intention of it not airing
not made
for,
that way anymore.
For
Yeah.
years, maybe.
Well, that's why, like us going and watching the Rockies, like they recap the old movies in the first like 10 minutes or whatever, because if you didn't see it in theaters,
absolutely,
there was no way for you to watch it.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, there are movies that I remember watching for the first time and then later being like, I don't like it as much anymore. You know, then there are movies that are the opposite way, but we're kind of blessed in that regard too, because that used to not be the case. You went and saw it, and how you saw it, the mood that you were in, the people that you were with, that was your experience with it.
Yeah. True enough. Well, I have a thing for us to watch.
Yes, and we also will collect some questions and start doing some questions later too. So if you guys are interested, get those questions in. Indeed. We'll do that as well. But I want to see what you want us to see. And let's see. I need to switch over to this input.
Doubling my audio. Okay.
All right. Now, Rick, do you need to set this up at all?
Sure. So I don't really watch SNL anymore, but this clip came upon my feed. The algorithm blessed me.
Okay.
And I watched it, and I laughed a lot.
Okay.
So I just wanted to share it with my friends, and I didn't let you guys watch it until we were on camera.
All right.
So here we are.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Welcome to News Nation. I'm Bobby Moore. In
can't
tonight's
hear.
live stream town hall, we'll discuss the potential power and pitfalls of the coming AI revolution.
Oh, I do. Oh, no.
I hear it, but is it a...
Yeah, let me check. I'm also the least important person to hear it, but I would like to hear it. Let's see. That would be this one.
Both whose?
It would be
No,
line
I
in.
can hear it fine. Yeah.
All right, try it now. Yep,
You
I hear it.
won't want to miss this.
AI miracle. Yes.
I'm joined by MIT Dean of Technology, Professor Norman Hemming.
Thank you, Bobby.
Well, let's get into it. Professor, you've been very outspoken about the threat AI poses.
Okay.
Can you explain your stance to the average American?
I'm sorry, what?
Can you explain your stance on AI to the average American?
Certainly.
I'm as distracted as he is.
I'm not anti-AI. I just I believe AI needs to be properly regulated. I'm sorry.
Professor, is there a
that hair is
problem?
great.
It is.
Yeah, there's a gentleman in your audience who looks strikingly similar to Beavis from the cartoon Beavis and Butthead. It's just a little distracting.
I'm not familiar with that cartoon.
Jeez, that hair.
If he moves seats.
He's looking around.
That slow turn back, realizing.
A blue shirt and blonde pompadour.
Sir, do you mind moving?
I'm sorry? Me? You're talking about me? I have no idea what's going on. I'm sorry.
Oh,
What?
that is.
Yes, can you move the seats?
Okay, sure. I'm sorry. I've never heard of that cartoon character.
And
Wow.
you really never watched Beavis and Butthead when you were a
Those
teenager?
background actors are stone cold.
No,
I know.
I was pretty,
Yeah.
so I was going to parties and hooking up. Now, Professor, if AI is left unregulated, what is your worst case scenario?
Well, in simplest terms, it becomes so intelligent that it deems humans unnecessary and kills us all.
That's some hot topic.
But if human beings.
Oh my gosh.
Can't we just program it to not do that?
Face.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
I think that's a valid question.
No. Now there's a gentleman behind you that looks like Butthead.
Professor, just because our audience members aren't as informed on the issue as you doesn't make them buttheads.
Butthead from the cartoon. He's Beavis' friend.
I'd really like to move on and discuss AI, so would you like him to move?
Yes, thank you. The man with the gray shirt and exposed gums.
Oh, that's breaking characters. She has to cover his mouth.
Oh, that's so funny. I love when they look around.
Kindly move seats.
She's talking to you. Oh, I'm sorry, me?
That's so funny.
I am so sorry. I'm confused. I'm just here to learn about AI. But
Man, that nose.
Yeah.
Professor, we got a viewer question at Danwich980.
They're all trying not to laugh.
I know.
It's so good.
TP for his bunghole.
Cornholio.
See, that's just somebody trolling. That's a reference to the cartoon. Cornholio was Beavis' alter ego. He eat the sugar and become Cornholio.
Yeah, I see. Let's move on to our audience questions, starting with Patricia Faulkner.
Yes,
Oh,
right
don't
here.
Oh, no.
You put them right next to each other. Look, they even sitting like they do on the show. You two really don't
He's cracking up just looking at him.
I've heard rumblings that I look like someone from TV, but it's just maybe it's this Beavis person. I don't know. I don't watch much television. I have an incredibly busy
Oh, my
life.
mouth hurts.
yeah, I'm very busy too. This is honestly the first time I've
Snort.
ever heard that I look like this butthead person. So.
Oh boy, for those just tuning in, this is News Nation, not the Cartoon Network.
Hey, they laugh like them too. You hear that?
Miss Faulkner, go ahead.
They were on
Yes,
MTV.
Professor. I'm a speech therapist and I use AI software every day.
Yeah, whatever. How long y'all been friends?
I don't know this gentleman.
You don't know each other?
No. Hi, I'm.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
All right, let's take a break. After, we'll speak with some gentlemen from Texas who lost their jobs to AI. I'm sure they have lots to say.
Oh, that's
Oh, no.
that's so funny. Mike Judge.
I don't watch a lot of SNL, but I wonder.
I had heard people say that the Ryan Gosling episode was some of the best they'd had in a while. I only saw the monologue, but that was. I love their.
Has
like,
anyone ever broken more on SNL? I wonder.
Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah,
used
Jimmy
to
Fallon broke a
every-
lot.
Yeah, that makes
Boy
sense.
Oyster Cult. It's pretty hard to, but I mean, that's some of the most fun they have is when the cast members can't keep it together.
Sure.
You know,
it
you
makes
don't-
it funnier,
Yeah.
you know?
And man, I don't know what they did with those extras, but like one of them might have kind of broke, but all of the actual professional actors,
Yeah.
not to say extras are professionals, were completely broken. That was so great.
Yeah.
What
I
a
figure
great
what
contrast.
they had to do, they had to have the extras see them before the
Maybe,
show,
yeah.
and they didn't let the cast members actually see them first.
Yeah.
When she turned around, there's no way she saw them before that.
Yeah.
She
No,
just immediately broke.
That had to be a first for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but just like, even if they had seen it before, just her breaking
Yeah.
broke me.
Yeah.
It did.
Oh, that was good. They're looking around. Trying to find
Oh, man.
Beavis and Butthead. No,
Yeah.
that was on MTV. There were 2 parts of their show. One was just the cartoon where they're just they're high schoolers, right?
I think so.
But
yeah.
they live by themselves.
Right.
And they're always trying to score, and they never score. But yeah. Oh. And then the other part of the show was them just commentating, reacting to music videos. Yep. I did it. Death, Rock, and Skull. Okay. Man, that was really funny. Oh no, did our YouTube stream get destroyed?
Maybe.
SNL probably got destroyed because we just watched we watched SNL.
Could be.
Maybe.
It could happen.
Yeah.
That could happen. That's why we have 2 streams.
It's true.
Yep. But anyway, we'll get that back up when we can. I love Mike Judge. He's the guy that created Beavis and Butthead and then also King of the Hill. He has this great story where they're airing Beavis and Butthead, and he has this guy call up to leave a voicemail. Like, he'd get, like, hate mail. And one guy, he said, like, he just changed my life because he's like, yeah, I hate your show, and I hate that character named Butthole. He just had this voice that just cracked him up, so he created King of the Hill. Because he sounds exactly like Boomhauer.
Nice.
So he's like, I can't do this show anymore. I got to do a different one with that as a character.
That's great.
Is there a new version of Beavis and Butthead? I haven't watched any. They had a great video game. What game was that? I don't know if I call it great. There was a video game that I played a lot. Beavis and Butthead. I think it was Super Nintendo.
Yes.
I can clearly remember them on their couch, and it's like pixelated. All right, we're back up. We're back up, YouTube.
Huzzah!
They can't keep
Yay.
us down. Anyway, I'll check
So it was
on
on
that.
Paramount Plus.
Yeah, there was 2 seasons, it looks like, that started in 2022. It was the first of the new seasons, and second was in 2023. I haven't seen.
You're cutting
Got
out a lot, Jake. I think you need the threshold lower or talk louder.
I just took my headphones off. I can hear them now. I'm just double checking. Yep, we're good. Alrighty.
All right. Well, should I get into some Twitch questions?
I said we get into some questions. Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Okay. Dora had a good one.
Okay.
So I like to think of April 16th as Blind Wave's anniversary, since it's the day when the first reaction was posted back on the old channel, now Wave Squadron.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yep.
Any thoughts about the 9 years of reacting, about growth, history, plans, etc.?
9 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, it has become, like, just, it's a job that you go from, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this as a job, to, and everything does this. Like, it is now your job, and you don't think about it that way anymore. But for me, it is really easy to still, like, take a second and appreciate all the things that I'm able to do now, after 9 years.
Sure.
And it's just how much, like, work, especially the beginning, took to get here. I never forget about that. when we were editing everything by ourselves and still needed to have full-time jobs. And I mean, that was 2-3 years of just straight work. And then I think I enjoyed like the next 5 years of not having to edit. But I mean, we went through COVID with it. We went through a lot of stuff with it, and it's become for me a very like a good scaffolding for my life. I enjoyed, like, I don't watch a lot of TV like in my free time anymore. I don't really watch a whole lot of movies in my free time anymore, and I've kind of found like almost like a liberation from that, being able to. Because when I was a kid, all I wanted to do in my evenings and the weekends is entertainment. You know?
Sure.
Yeah.
And now it's like sometimes the last thing I want to do. And I don't know if that's a result of getting older or a result of like I get all my fun done with Blind Wave. You know, I guess that's what I think about when it comes to it.
Somebody brought up the anniversary the other day, and they asked about how many shows. So we went ahead and looked it up. You guys have reacted to 172 shows in those 9 years.
172 shows. That sounds right.
That is counting the Ben 10 replacement show.
Okay, gotcha.
None of those are Fringe.
None of those are Fringe. Hey,
Or Stargate.
I got so many things that I've wanted to do, and not everybody has that. Aaron's been wanting to do Battlestar Galactica for 9 years.
Yeah. It's true. But yes,
One of them is Berserk.
One of them is Berserk, but it took a while.
Yeah.
It did, but eventually it happened.
So almost a decade, almost 200 shows. Think we can hit 200 shows? We can easily hit 200 shows.
How many? I wonder how many movies we've done.
Oh man!
Like reactions and reviews.
Go to the. We can just go to the.
Yeah,
playlist.
just go to the playlist, and that one's pretty easy.
Yeah.
The math was like 19 shows a year.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, you guys weren't doing as many shows a year as what you are now, for sure.
Oh yeah, sure.
Last year got a bump because of the writer's strike.
That's true. Yeah.
We picked up a few extras.
That is true.
Since the ranking podcast, I think it was 13 shows from what I counted.
Gotcha.
Just since the ranking podcast last December.
Wow.
We have 231 movies in our movie reaction playlists.
Damn.
So that's a lot.
No Neil Breen.
Yeah. And, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. Of course, it will not be enough for some people.
No.
No, what about my show? I mean, everybody has their show.
I mean, what was the first thing that we said when we said how many shows we had reacted to? Like, yeah, but not this.
Mm-hmm.
Even we're doing it to ourselves. So it is a dangerous pattern to fall into. Like, everything that you can do is never enough.
Yep.
My favorite, not my favorite, but it's always amusing to see someone request something that we did 5 years ago.
It's rewarding to have already gotten there and beat them to the punch.
Yeah.
And then to be graceful and say, here it is.
But if you do want to ask a question, don't just throw it out in chat into the ether.
Yep.
You need to head over to twitch.tv/blindwave, where there's a little purple bubble in the lower left where you can redeem a question. Then we'll be getting to those. Calvin, did you answer the last one? Did you have anything to say?
I mean, it's great to be operating and working in a business with my friends, doing what we love. Hopefully, a stepping stone towards bigger and better things. Definitely didn't think that we would be this far along, 9 years in.
Yeah.
I think we all had visions of it happening much later than it did. Now most of my family is some way involved in the goings on. It's a good feeling.
Like, we've been doing it long enough that like my dad can tell people what we're what we do, and he understands it.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that's the biggest win in a lot of ways. Is my relatives can understand what I do now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the reaction segment especially has changed a lot in those 10 years. In a cool way, we helped change a little bit of that, or we helped add to a little bit of that change. But it's just one of those things, like, how many YouTube channels do you know of that have been operating for 10 years, let's say 9 years, that put out 2 or 3 videos a day? That doesn't happen very often.
Every day.
It's not. That's not good for the algorithm.
No, typically not.
When people are like, "Why don't you guys have 1 million subscribers yet?" It's like, the way that we release
we're shooting
videos
ourselves in the foot.
is the reason. We still get an increase, but if you look at the data and be like, look, this is just the people that are going to subscribe because you're watching Succession are going to unsubscribe because they also don't want to watch this anime and this cartoon and the other 3 shows that you're doing that week, you know? So they just hope that their algorithm will show them the next video. And luckily, that's actually how it works now. If you are just watching, especially 2 or 3 series, even if it's not like officially a series on a YouTube channel, just like if you're watching a type of video with certain tags, if you've watched enough of that, you will get served the next one. And I can definitely see the numbers in terms of our views with certain videos. That happens. But subs is a weird thing. But I do wonder where, because it was completely different 2 years ago. I wonder where it's going to be 2 years from now.
Sure.
Because you always want, that's what you want to chase, is the 2 years from now. Not
Yeah,
not
you
right
want to
now.
already be there, not be catching up while the system is changing to something else.
9 years from now, will there even be a YouTube?
Right? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Who knows? There will be a blindwave.com.
There will be a
Why do we have it?
There will be.
Yes. And if you guys don't go on blindwave.com all that much, I mean, you see little changes every once in a while, sometimes big changes. I like the little animation that goes around the reaction button now.
Yeah, just trying to.
Yep, just like,
it's
look.
here.
Yep.
Yeah, we take feedback for that all the time and are constantly making changes. We have some bigger changes on the way that I'm pretty excited about. So yes, Crudel is back.
Yes.
Yep, there's Crudel. If you don't know what Crudel is, Rick, how would you elevator pitch Crudel?
Yeah, so if you've heard of Wordle, it's like that for Blindwave videos, where you get a few seconds clip, an audio clip of one of our videos, and you have to guess which show or movie that it is a reaction from. And you get so many guesses. Every guess you get wrong gives you a little bit more of the clip. And if you get it right, then you get to see the whole thing.
I'd say it's most like Hurdle, right? The music version.
Which doesn't exist anymore, which is why I did not refer to it.
Okay.
But yes, you're right. It is more like Hurdle.
It's trippy when I try it because I cannot recognize where my voice is from sometimes. We just have 9 years of videos, multiple videos every day. It's just sometimes I there are things I don't even remember saying.
Sure.
There are videos and episodes I don't remember watching. But Crudel will be like, no,
it's there.
It's there. And I will rack my brain. I'm like, I should know this more than anybody that's trying. And then I'll look on our Discord and everybody's like, I got it in the first try. Damn it.
All right.
Yeah, some of those reactions that are, like 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think it's entirely unreasonable that we've forgotten.
Oh, yeah.
Based on how many videos we've made.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Yep. Yizing. One has to go. Howard Shore, Hans Zimmer, Ramin Djawadi, John Williams. Which soundtrack composer do you pick to erase?
I have to pick Ramin
Djawadi.
Yep, he's done some great stuff. Game of Thrones, Westworld. But I mean, the other 3 are just
They're
3, 4. They're too iconic.
The other 3,
I can't.
You could say, like, well, what has Howard Shore done that you're a fan of that's not Lord of the Rings? And I could be like, fair, but it's Lord of the Rings.
But Lord of the Rings is so good.
Yeah. Like, for me, half of what makes it that good is the music, and that is. I don't want it to sound like I'm dissing everything else but the music. No, that's how much it means to me.
Yeah.
So I have to keep John Williams. You can't. It's not even a question.
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer, I feel like, has a lot of stuff, like little things that I could throw out, but overall I got to keep. I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
One of the best soundtracks to a movie ever.
The music definitely made that show.
Yeah.
Movie, I should say. That film.
I feel like Game of Thrones is great, but it could be just as great with slightly different music. But I can't really feel the same way with almost any of the others.
Yeah.
I agree. agree.
We had a super chat, $10 from Free Metroid Hat, who says, "Got my Wavecon tickets for me and my dad. See you guys there. Can't wait."
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Very nice.
That's going to be awesome.
Tickets are still available. blindwave.com/wavecon.
Yep. There's going to be we were just talking today about some of the stuff that's going on. But for sure, I'm really looking forward to is being able to just play some games, board games, video games, that type of thing, just while waiting for other stuff to happen. I've always enjoyed that about Wavecon.
Yep.
For sure. All right. D Joker XD asks, will Rick be joining the Naruto Shippuden reactions? I would say no. I haven't watched any that weren't on the channel.
You'd have a lot to catch up on.
I would have a lot to catch up on.
Now,
and
go ahead.
I could never bring myself to watch an episode of Naruto before an episode of One Piece, and I have a lot of One Piece to get through.
You have a lot of One Piece. I understand. I will say, Calvin, I'm assuming you're in the same position. Where we are in Naruto is the best it's ever been.
Yes, it is. I say that completely unembarrassed and unabashedly.
Yeah.
It's the best it's ever been.
And as someone that hasn't always gelled with Naruto all the way through.
That is entirely true.
Yeah.
There's been some low points for me in Naruto.
Sure.
And everything else is a low point now because of what we're watching.
Yeah.
Very good.
Not to tear something down to bring something up, but it's just my graph has changed scales. If that makes sense.
No, I just there's so many reasons to say why it's the best right now, but my favorite reason, because it also pains me because I like the main character so much, is that it can do it without having to rely on its main character. Like, they just have fantastic stories happening while Naruto himself is running through the woods.
Sure.
For a long time, it feels like.
On Snake Way?
On Snake Way. Ugh.
I'm glad.
Yep.
Not a question, but Calvin's camera isn't under the white border on the screen. It's been bothering my OCD.
Oh.
I don't know if that's been fixed yet, but...
It's underneath the border, but there's still a gap over here on my right side. There's a little bit of black. I noticed it a while ago, and I had to double check a couple times. And it's you're killing me, Smalls.
Darkseed is bored. Eric, when will we see you in Valhalla?
For God of War, right?
When he's defeated in battle.
Yes. Very soon. I think the plan is starting it in May. I don't have for sure dates on when it's going to be happening, but we've been doing this thing where one of us will play a game, two of us sometimes playing a game for a little bit, and while the others aren't playing a game, that way they get a little bit of time off, which is ironic. We work all day at Blind Wave, and then we also will work all night sometimes with the game. So I've needed to have a little bit more free time. So even though I finished Survivor a while ago, I'm still waiting a little bit before I start God of War. But once I do, oh man, there was a reason that some of those streams went 8 hours. I know this is DLC, but from what I have, people have told me, people whose opinions I trust, I'm gonna have a good time. So you definitely need to make sure you're following along at Blind Wave Gaming for whenever that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to it. And Outlaws, Star Wars Outlaws is going to be out not too long ago, and I need to convince.
That is something I want to talk about. Where people are pissed about the monetization of that game.
Sure, yeah, but
yeah.
So what you're talking about is the different levels that they have, right?
Well, how game's not out. There's going to be story-based DLC that's in a
Same
season pass that
thing,
is only pre-order.
Yeah. Hogwarts Legacy did that,
which also
EA
sucks.
does it a lot. Yeah, I think it's the worst.
I think EA, from what I haven't played them, but from what I understand, the Jedi games seem to be free of all that nonsense.
They're completely free of it.
Yeah. Which I know they did some pretty terrible stuff with Battlefront 2.
Sure.
But
Battlefront 2's launch was horrific.
It was probably the worst launch.
Yeah.
As far as like reviews go ever, maybe.
Yeah, and the most challenging part of that, not challenging, but I guess sad part of it is years later you'll hear from the devs and they're like, we didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
We finished that game. And they'd take parts of the finished game and put them behind paywalls. Artists don't want this to happen. So I want to be like, yeah, I mean, that sucks, but I want to go experience the story the storyteller's telling me. And that might not be their decision. But also, you want to be a good consumer that's not, just falling into these obvious dumb traps.
Yeah, I haven't supported Ubisoft for years.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of terrible stuff going on with that company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not to let EA get away scot-free, but they announced that Dead Space 2 remake is not happening.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, apparently the first one did not sell to their expectations.
Okay.
So they canceled all future Dead Space projects.
So you're saying I don't have to wait to play Dead Space 2? I can just go into it.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Silver lining.
It still holds up.
Yeah.
For sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it is disappointing to see because like that game reviewed well, and from what I understand, it sold well.
Yeah.
But I mean, games cost so much these days that any of those like AAA or quadruple A's have to just sell beyond the pale in order to make enough money back. So
Sure.
That didn't make that much money, but Hogwarts Legacy was #1, wasn't it? Didn't it sell the most games last year?
I would
know.
believe it,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Which
I would also.
it's a game
not-
that I actually did enjoy, but you could see you could physically feel the absence of all the stuff they cut out to make Deadline. There's no companion system in a Harry Potter game.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. And then, they had a locked out. I think only the PS5 had a certain mission.
Okay.
The others didn't get it until I think they still don't have it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're correct. Hogwarts Legacy was the #1 selling game of 2023 with 22 million copies sold.
Yeah. And look, I mean, they really did nail some magic in that game. There are parts in that game where I just I transcended playing a video game and felt like I was reading those books for the first time, and that was awesome. But it has a problem a lot of open world games do, which is generate your landscape, throw stuff every once in a while to be interested in, and that sometimes works. I think the Breath of the Wild works for me because there's a certain quirkiness to that.
Yeah.
That doesn't work in a lot of other open world games. In my opinion, the only one that's done it well, Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima's great. You need to play Witcher 3.
I need to play Witcher 3.
As a man who hates open world games,
yeah,
Witcher 3 is amazing.
Yep. Yeah, I need to do that. But anyway, yeah, I've heard the discourse with Outlaws. I understand it. I get it. I'm still excited for the story and for the things that I've heard about that I am interested in, but I don't know. Don't know. Someone needs to storm that castle and try to fix those problems, but I don't know if it's going to happen. And, I feel the same way about mobile games.
Yeah.
I haven't played a mobile game. I played Pokemon Go for a little bit, but that was just, I don't know. How do you have such a successful game and not listen to your player base ever?
A lot of games do.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't know. You think you would, but
there was I was playing a game this week that I actually I haven't played a mobile game in years. I'm gonna do it. This is fun, and it was just ads. I'm like, okay, look, I seriously am having enough fun. I'm gonna buy the $4 ad-free part. Bought it, $4. Started playing again. Got to the power up. Made me watch another ad.
Sons of bitches.
So all it did was get rid of these ads.
Oh.
Yeah, all ads, and I still really enjoyed the game, but then it got to the point where I'm like,
It just
another ad. And I decided
after a
not to
while,
play
it
anymore.
just it's like a drip out of a bucket.
Yeah.
Every ad is a drip, and eventually the bucket is going to be empty, and they just want to keep you there until your bucket's empty.
Yeah.
Right?
Wouldn't be so bad if they weren't the same dumb ad all the time.
It's
always like,
definitely...
hey, you're playing a game right now. Would you like to play a worse game? And by the way, it ain't even going to look like this.
Yeah. No, that's the worst part about it, is the ads are just terrible.
Yeah, there's no accountability
Yeah.
for ads on the internet.
Like most of the time, mobile ads are just incredibly deceptive.
Yeah,
and,
they are.
Like
They're
they show
being
you
played
what a
by
game-
an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, they show you a game and then you download the game and the game doesn't look like
Yeah.
that at all, or
I know.
play like that at all, or anything about it is similar at all.
Well, that's a tactic, Eric.
I know.
Because
You're
you watch someone play it so terribly, and you're like, I would make better decisions than that. Let me
Motherfucker
prove
went
to
to
this
+2,
game that I'm
not
better
+4.
than whoever
You know?
made this trailer.
I know.
And
But that's
they
it's
get you to
designed that
download the
way.
game, and they pad their ratings on Google Play or
Yeah.
Apple Store or whatever. Like, 50 million downloads. Yeah, but how many uninstalls are there?
It's such an interesting strategy. It's like the game doesn't look fun, but it's maddening that whoever's playing is playing bad.
Precisely.
I gotta see. Maybe it's fun if you play good, and then it never is.
I could do better than that person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terrible.
Yep. So I guess part of me is like, look, at least it's not that bad. Because from what I understand, like it's just like one mission. I know a lot of people were being like, because in their press release it made it sound like they were cutting Jabba the Hutt out of the game.
Yeah.
Unless you bought this thing. Apparently that's not true. It's just one mission of Jabba's
Right.
that's not in there. But I mean, it's still a dumb practice. Can you imagine?
Well, and it's
our game
PR dumb to announce
Yeah.
that and tie it to a pre-order. I feel like
It's
They're
not
like,
though, because they sell.
I guess
It must be
so.
working. Like they wouldn't do it if it didn't work.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, yes, but like EA stopped with the Jedi stuff, and that seemed to sell well enough for a second one at the very least. So
You would think so.
I don't know.
Since we're on video games, I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a specific game in mind for my answer. Do you guys have any games that you played and you really liked the game as it was, but then the company gave zero effort into it later, but you know that its potential was there to be really good? Is there like one that really sits out to you?
This might be controversial, but Pokemon games.
Yeah.
Like they just release the same game over and over and over again. Don't get me wrong, I like it. It's fun,
But it could be better.
But
It
when
could be
you
so much
can
more,
when
right?
you put a screenshot of Scarlet and Violet next, which is the most recent Pokemon game, next to Breath of the Wild, which was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous to expect that this is your game that you're bringing out. I don't know. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like you would print money if you just had it made by a competent team. But then I would say, hey, dummy, they're already printing money. How dare you think you know better than the people that made a billion dollar franchise? So I don't know. But I feel that way a lot.
That's also why Pal World sold 19
you're
billion
right.
copies.
Hopefully the Pokemon company woke up a little bit and be like, oh, maybe we should innovate a bit. Because what they'll do is they'll innovate and then completely change it the next game.
Yeah.
But that's the reason I loved that Pokemon Arceus Legends so much, because it was slightly different than the same shit we get every year.
Yeah.
So
that's mine. Do you have one that you can think of?
I mean, I can think of quite a few, I guess. Like there's a lot of really good stuff in Deadly Premonition 2, but like technically that game is still a mess.
Yeah.
What was the one you had in mind, Jake?
Red Dead Redemption Online. So the online version of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Which should do gangbusters after their
Exactly.
Grand
Red Dead
Theft
Redemption
Auto.
2 is maybe like top 5 games of all time for me.
Yeah.
I hop on Red Dead Online with my friends. I have a great time, but then nothing was ever added. It was riddled with hackers who would just spawn stuff in, and then you would get banned. And like it could have printed itself money by doing regular updates keeping players invested, having like some kind of I know people don't like it, but like battle pass thing to where you can earn in-game currency or pay for the battle pass. Like it could, like bank robberies, train heist. The Red Dead Redemption 1 had like a Weird West where they had like zombies and like have events like that.
Yep.
Like the game could have been comparable to Grand Theft Auto in my opinion in its like user base, and they just didn't put any effort into it, and it makes me mad every time I think about it, because I'll still grab that game every once in a while and I'll have fun for a couple hours until a hacker shows up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked that Starfield hasn't opened up stuff to mods. The modding community. No.
What?
That's one that shocks me.
Isn't that the only reason you play a Bethesda game? Sorry about that.
I mean, yeah, like if you're not gonna fix your games, fans will fix them for you when it comes to the Bethesda stuff. So
yeah, or I mean, even if it doesn't super need fixed, they'll just make small changes that they would like to see in the game. Like, I mean, for instance, Skyrim is like what, a 13-year-old game, almost 12, 13-year-old game, and it looks better than some games now because the modding community has updated the resource packs and texture packs and everything like that. They've completely overhauled it and made it amazing, and the game that everyone wants to try again and replay and try different versions and everything. But yeah, no, it is disappointing. Starfield.
Another one I'm kind of surprised by, and I'm a person who doesn't think any of the Bethesda Fallouts are good, but that there's no HD remake or remaster to coincide with the Fallout show of any of their stuff. Like the last one is how old? 11 years old now, not including 76.
Fallout 4, yeah,
It came out in 2015, so 9
years.
9 years.
Yeah, and the Fallout show made me maybe restart that game.
I've heard a lot of people say that. Do you think they realized they had a hit on their hands with that show? Because they also dropped it all at once.
I don't know.
I mean, I know a lot of people are starting to not like that now, but
yeah,
sure.
Generally, you like companies are starting to do that when they don't have faith in something.
I don't know. I saw it pushed a bunch like on Amazon.
Yeah.
And stuff, but yeah, just baffling stuff.
Gotcha.
Fallout 76 is free right now with a Prime account, though, says chat.
Wow, really?
And supposedly Fallout 76 has drug itself back up from the awful release it had.
From the Abyss?
Yeah. Kind of like No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
where it's kind of reinvented itself. And
it had a pretty abysmal launch. For the first couple years, it was not great.
Not great. That's the world we live in now. Games released unfinished.
Oh, yeah.
Decent eventually.
Have you heard the quote? This is Ubisoft has updated its subscription model and said customers need to be, quote, comfortable with not owning their game.
Oh, yeah. No, I've seen that.
Ubisoft Plus will now feature 2 revised tiers. But yeah, so there's a tremendous opportunity for growth for subscription models. But the mindset of consumers needs to change.
Well,
what a terrible way
in more than one way, then I can probably safely say I probably won't own any more Ubisoft games.
Yeah, no,
because I hate.
It's a dangerous precedent to say, "Hey, you don't own your game." It's like, okay, well then piracy isn't theft.
Yeah, I hate subscriptions in general. But like, I have to pay a subscription just to have access to the games that I have paid for.
Yeah,
that's it's not gonna fly with a lot of people.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Well, and I mean, it's kind of that way with like Amazon movies that you purchased, but would get commercials through if you didn't have the upgraded
Sure,
that's true.
thing. It's like, What do you own in this digital world? All right. Next question I have is from Rob Jackson. What's one show you miss reacting to the most? I assume something we finished.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah, Cobra Kai.
There's still more Cobra Kai coming, but that is a treat every time.
I have so much fun.
Just around the third season, it's got to the point where I just remember saying, like, this shouldn't work, but it does.
Yeah.
And it's so, like, there was one episode, I think it was like season 3, episode 10. I said it in the reaction like 10 times. I love this show. Cobra Kai is, I think, probably mine.
Cobra Kai's great. I want a Black Sails Treasure Island.
Oh, yeah. That would be great. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Black Sails just went up on Netflix.
Yeah.
So anybody that has a Netflix account and you're interested, or if you need to use a VPN, you can find it on American Netflix. It's one of the best shows I've seen, and you can watch our reactions too if you haven't seen it.
Netherman 41, Black Sails isn't that good. It's better.
So good.
Yeah.
Expanse.
I
really miss watching The Expanse.
Yeah. You know what? I've felt this way for a little bit, and I think Expanse I might have felt for it the most. There is something to be said about watching a season and then taking a break, and then watching a season and then taking a break.
Yeah.
Expanse, I felt like we were so privileged to be able to just go through the entire thing, but like sometimes you need to sit on something for a bit before you move on.
Sure.
I feel like Expanse, I enjoyed it immensely, but I bet you I would have enjoyed it way more if I was watching it live and had a break.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
can see that.
It's really hard for me to pick between Legends of Vox Machina and Monarch.
Mostly
because it's the only two shows I've done.
That's true.
Another show that I really miss watching every week is Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul. That was a great
Another
one.
incredible. I mean, not to
challenging show.
Not to edge Breaking Bad out, but it's just a really fantastic show.
Yeah. It was also, you know what? This show was during a very tumultuous time, but I miss Faulty Towers.
Yeah.
Yes. No. Yeah.
That first day when we watched like 2 or 3, it was the first experience I'd ever had with it. It was rough. It was so good.
Yeah.
Like I felt exhausted. I felt like I just ran for 3 hours. So that's probably one too.
And of course, the real answer, One Piece.
One Piece. Yeah. Well, that's a yearly gift we get.
It is.
I did not have more fun. I did have more fun this year than I ever have. And that's probably only going to grow. Someone said Lost. I watched Lost before Blind Wave, so I don't even think, even though it is a Blind Wave show,
You don't really consider it.
I personally
Yeah.
don't, but I'm sure Rick does.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Good question.
All right. Let's see here. Shows you're looking forward to seeing / reacting to in the next 9 years.
I would say Stargate, but
yes,
haven't done it in this 5 years or 9 years. No guarantee that we'll make it in the next.
Might be a controversial answer, but I've been looking forward to watching Mr. Robot for a long time. It just can't get over that hump of a poll. And
Yeah.
every time that we have like something open, there's always something that's slightly more relevant that we can put in there,
Yeah, no.
It's in this weird position of like, really wanted to win a poll. Really
Well,
wanted to...
I think
like,
it's in the
Rick,
same
can't we just
position.
once go in, fudge the numbers, get Mr. Robot in
No.
there? We can't.
No, we just do what we eventually did for Black Sails and just pick it.
Yeah.
Because Black Sails was in that same kind of gray
That's
swirl.
true. It was.
Of like being so good that everyone wanted us to watch it, but not recent enough to where everyone would vote for it at the same time.
Yeah. So I will say we'll get to it sometime in the next 9 years.
Man, there's quite a few. One I think I've given up hope on is Steins Gate Zero. I'll probably just watch that one on my own.
Okay, sure, yeah. That would
because
be a
I
good one.
absolutely love Steins Gate,
Yeah.
and I just don't see that one winning.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame.
Yeah. I mean, that's this tragedy of Mr. Robot is that it always does well enough to get on the next poll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Steins Gate Zero, I remember not doing super well on its poll.
There's been enough time separated from Hunter x Hunter. I yearn for Yu Hakusho more every day.
Yeah, me too.
Everything that I hear about it, and everyone that I hear talk about how great it is and everything,
Yeah.
like, yes, I want more. Anything that even reminds me of Hunter x Hunter.
And
if
then
it's that good.
One that I've been looking forward to for a long time, that I enjoy every time it comes up, is Dragon Ball Bridge with Rick.
Oh,
Yeah.
There are so many times throughout our day that Rick or Calvin and Aaron will mention Dragon Ball, and they will both recognize each other and confuse each other at the same time.
Yeah. They'll be like, yeah, that
Yeah.
time. Wait, what?
And again, there's one joke, at least one joke in Dragon Ball Abridged that Rick will get that no one else did, and I cannot wait to get to it. It won't hit as hard for anyone else as it will for Rick.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Someday.
We got to get that in there.
I guess that's another show that I miss reacting to as well. DBZA.
Well, it's also because we did it every day.
We did it really too quick, honestly.
Yeah.
We did
That
one
was towards
reaction
the
per
beginning.
day.
And sometimes it would be like, hey, I'm going to be gone for 2 days, so we'd watch 2 or 3 or 4 at a time. But I was editing it every day.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I'm sure you don't miss that.
I
but-
don't miss it. Well, it wasn't a hard edit necessarily because we were able to leave the entire show in.
But it just made it to where you couldn't like travel or do anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I
you
mean-
couldn't be away from home.
Yeah. When you asked earlier about like things about from this last 9 years, for the first 7 years of Blind Wave, I was the one who posted videos every day. Now, Jancy has taken over posting during the weekday so that I can come in and kind of get ready for videos and recordings and not have to spend that first hour or 90 minutes doing that. But I still do it on the weekends. But yeah, there was a time where I did it every single day, maybe missing once or twice for 7 years.
Yeah.
And it became like a ritual for me, but I did not miss it once I gave it up.
Flying Mozzarella with the real questions. Do you guys have any plans to react to more So Bad It's Good movies, such as The Room and Dragon Ball Evolution? I lobby for it
Every time a
time.
movie is brought up,
Yep.
I pull for it.
every time.
Well, I mean, we know that we're staring into a chasm, and that chasm is Neil Breen.
Oh,
The chasm stares back.
I mean, legitimately, it might be the set of movies that have been hyped up more than any in the studio.
might be.
The
least deserving.
I'm completely ready for it. It's just there's also like the idea of like where do you start? Which one do you want to show us first?
No, I have decided.
Yeah, he's known for years.
Yes.
Do I need to drive home? Should I get wasted?
You will not be able to drive home because
Even
if you
if
watch
you're
it sober, your brain will be so bent you couldn't drive anyway.
Yeah. No, I want to do that and do it soon because the Room reaction might be my most rewatched video of ours, other than something short. But
Sure.
I love watching the Room reaction, and that was a chore and a pleasure.
It was.
Yeah,
It's up there for me
yeah.
for most rewatched videos.
Mortal Kombat as well.
Of course.
I think I was just in a mood during the Mortal Kombat videos, but those were so much fun.
Rewatch Reactive Feud a lot so I can be fresh whenever I need to host again.
Yeah.
Whenever
Rick,
that
I'm
time
assuming-
comes.
I'm assuming you want to start with Double Down.
You have to start with Double Down.
Can
You
we
have
just make,
to.
whatever day we do that, can we just make it like a company like special day to where we all
Just ran out of theater.
kind of just get fucked up that day? Because even being in the vicinity, you kind of need it.
Yeah, maybe.
we just hired taxis the whole day.
Ah, man.
Is The Room the most watched reaction on the channel? It's not, but it's up there.
And it's a
It's
tragedy that it
Way
isn't.
up there.
It's definitely up there. I remember it being kind of high.
It's respectable.
Yeah, it's respectable. John Wick.
It's no John
movie
Wick.
reaction is still number
Yeah.
1. 2.6 million views.
Which,
Well deserved.
you know, John Wick is a better
Mm-hmm.
movie.
It is.
And don't
Like I
get me
said,
wrong.
well
like,
deserved.
I love everything that's on here, but it goes John Wick, and then One Punch Man, then Rick and Morty. Those are all episode 1s.
Yeah.
Then Dragon Ball Abridged, the Broly reaction.
Oh.
And then at number 5, Standing Proud, RRR.
Yes.
RRR is one of
Man.
my favorite things we've ever done, and I cannot believe we haven't done more of those movies. It has 1.9 million views.
I have a movie locked and loaded for you
Yeah.
that is by the same director whenever you want it.
Season 2, Episode 8 of The Mandalorian is under RRR, and we're known for Star
Which is
Wars.
crazy. Yeah.
RRR is great.
Like our fan base, it proves how great that is.
Yeah.
Speaking of Broly, SSG Jorge asks, do you have any moments from Dragon Ball / anime in general that you rewatch all the time? Eric might be the only one who knows these, but mine are, I will not let you destroy my world, and Broly, look, it's such a tragedy.
The what? What was the second one?
Broly, look, it's such a tragedy.
Yes. Oh, man, yeah. I definitely have ones that I rewatch all the time. From Dragon Ball, I mean, oh my God. Vegeta, Majin Vegeta. Now, you guys won't know this one as well. Calvin, a little bit, but Majin Vegeta, who Goku was back on Earth for one day to fight in the martial art championship. And Vegeta realizes this is my only shot to beat this guy. It's so good, and he goes on the he just goes back to this evil side that we didn't have for such a long time, and that one is like one of my favorite Chris Sabat performances ever.
Ooh.
So good.
I can't wait to get there.
It's so good. I mean, Majin Buu Saga is not my favorite saga, but it has some of my favorite moments.
Mm.
Super Saiyan 3 Goku transformation literally is transcendent. I rewatched that a lot. I fall back to Dragon Ball a lot, honestly. Like between Star Wars, Zelda, and then like my next franchise might be Dragon Ball, which is kind of nuts to think about.
It's worthy for
In
sure.
my we were talking about the writing process.
Yeah.
Like, I will go outside just for my own pleasure, not because I think it's ever going to happen. I would just write a 10-episode Netflix Dragon Ball. Here's my outline. This is what would happen in each episode. It would be fucking awesome. Here's how you would do fights you've never seen before on screen. It's like I keep thinking about it, and I'm like, I gotta save all this because what if one day I get to make it? I'm never gonna get to make that. But I have it written down just in case.
Just in case.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm being in the airport.
When the call
someone's
comes.
gonna be like, does anybody have scripts for Dragon Ball? You know?
When the call comes, you will answer it.
But I think it'd be really good.
Yeah, for me, like I just go back and rewatch stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely rewatch more than I watch new stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
But like anything I rank in S, I go back and rewatch. Like
Absolutely. I don't get to do it as much as I used to, but I mean, all the things that I am super passionate about, I've watched over and over and over again. I don't really do that with I've tried to start doing it. When my dad got sick and I was in the hospital a lot, I started just rewatching some of the things that I've enjoyed the last few years, but just haven't had time or the desire to go back. And yeah, you can enjoy things way more the second time.
Yeah. It's a problem with why I haven't finished Dragon Ball and One Piece is I just start at the beginning again.
Yeah.
I just do it again.
Yeah.
It's the same way I read Berserk. Like anytime there's a new volume, I start from the beginning before I'm allowed to read the new one.
I mean, that's how you get, that's how you retain all the information too.
Sure.
Like when a new Star Wars movie would come out, I'd rewatch all the Star Wars movies. I don't do that for TV.
Yeah.
I used to do it for Clone Wars.
I do it for my S film.
For the S stuff,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But for me, YouTube has made it such that I don't have to. I don't watch the entire thing. I'll go back and watch parts.
Sure.
You know? And that's not necessarily the best way of doing it either.
But on like a recent thing, it's probably Hajime no Ippo. Just because anytime I needed inspired to like, I don't feel like working out today.
Yep.
I would play that. Like, yep, time to go.
I have a song on my workout list that is just like a beat in the background and just Chris Sabat as Vegeta.
Oh, yes.
Just talk.
I might have the same one as you.
It gets me so pumped.
It's so good.
There's one thing this saying always keeps, his pride.
I can't listen to it while weightlifting because
You'll
I go
push
too
yourself.
hard.
Yeah, you push yourself. There's certain songs I can't listen to when I drive because I drive
Yep.
unsafe. I cannot listen to Metallica when I drive.
I can't listen to Initial
it's a
D.
mistake.
Start trying the moves.
I try.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right, where are we at?
That was a good question.
With The Last of Us and Fallout being a big success, what would be your dream game adaptation?
Mass Effect.
You know what I heard? I heard that the Halo series was originally a Mass Effect series. They couldn't get the license to the property, so they just bought another video game property and adjusted the scripts to
It makes me
match.
sad.
And when you think
because
about the
their heart
crystal
wasn't in it.
Yeah,
and banging
that
that
makes
alien
a lot of
lady,
sense now that you say it.
I'm like, oh my god, that might be it.
Huh.
Yeah. That's
That kind of stuff happens all the time.
Yeah.
damn. Man.
It's a damn
I
shame.
I enjoyed the first season of Halo, but it's because I know nothing about Halo.
Yeah.
Halo deserves better.
It
Yeah.
does.
Some people were
That's-
saying the second season they liked more. I don't know.
They
I'm
fired
sure-
the entire writing team.
Sure, yeah.
And a lot of the production and everything too. So it's definitely a different show now in its second season. I haven't heard anything else about it.
Either.
I feel like more people like the second season than the first, but I think it put a lot of bad taste in everybody's
I
mouth.
get you. If I knew those videos would get some views, I'd be like, yeah, I'm interested, but I just don't think they get any views.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It seems like the general consensus is too little, too late.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I mean, especially a franchise like that. If you do something like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and people are like, what is this going to be?
Sure.
You can take some risk and, hey, we're going to bury the lead that makes this good until episode 14. Like, what? But you can't do that with Halo. But yeah, when I heard that, I was kind of shocked and then kind of like, well, they should just do a Mass Effect show. That would be awesome. I played Mass Effect for a year.
Yeah.
Whole year.
Yeah.
And it was one of my greatest video game years ever.
Someday it'll be one of mine.
Oh.
Oh, Rick, I can't wait.
So good.
Someday. For me, I would love to see, it would have to be animated, but I would love to see like an awesome, epic anime Mega Man movie.
Yeah.
I've been a huge Mega Man fan forever. I would love to see all of Swery's games except for J.J. McField and the Island of Memories made into like live action stuff, just because I want more people to experience those stories.
Yeah.
And they're very niche games. But not J.J. McField, because it's one of the pinnacles of video game storytelling.
It's
and
perfect already.
It can't, like, you can't separate it from the interactive media.
It's like trying to make the Mona Lisa a GIF.
Yeah, it's like The Last of Us is easy because, like, what's good about that game is what's good in cinema, right? Like, I think that transfers, but I don't think it works that way with J.J. McField.
Gotcha. Yeah, a lot of the picks that I would typically bring up, I'm like, they're good as is. Like, this should be a video game. Not everything needs to be adapted, but
yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True. Great question, though. I love that.
I mean, I know they are making a Zelda adaptation, though, and I know that it is being made by the guy who's directing the two most recent Ape movies, which, not for nothing, those have been, like, some of my favorite, like...
What's that?
Sci-fi, I guess. The
War,
Apes movies, yeah.
War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, Dawn, Rise, War,
Kingdom?
whatever they all are. I've loved every single one of them.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, the new one that's coming out. I'm
Yeah.
really interested in that. But
Me too.
the guy
That one
that's
looks
doing
great.
Zelda was a director there, and from what I understand, Zelda was still supposed to be live action.
Well,
but they might be doing it in that.
The Apes movies are technically live
I know,
action, but
yeah,
there's
that's what I'm
more
saying,
animated
yeah.
characters in that than anything else.
So we'll
know?
see. That like makes me kind of encouraged, and it's like more dangerous too because
Sure.
live action CG stuff can be great,
It can be terrible.
but sometimes they do stuff where it's like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Dogs exist.
I was gonna say you hate dogs for very little
just hire a
reason.
dog.
You just hate the entire dog.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're making a Goron, you need to have CG. You need to look good.
You can't do it with puppets and just waving arms a little bit.
I mean, honestly, if it were me in charge, I'd 100% do it with puppets. I mean, they're
all practical.
They're rock men. They should look like rocks and move like rocks.
You said Goron.
Goron.
I was thinking Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
the forearm
Goro.
guy. Yeah, Goro. My bad.
I think BioShock could be a good adaptation because I don't think the interactiveness of BioShock is the best part of BioShock. Okay. Where are we at? D Joker XD. Rick mentioned some time ago, perhaps making a video about the ideas and philosophy represented in JJK Season 2 Part 1. Could we expect that in the near future? No pressure, just excited by the possibilities. My goal is to get it under 30 minutes. It's currently over 2 hours. I need to rework it because my goal is to get it under 30 minutes.
Yep.
But there's too much to say. So, but it's being worked on. What are some of your favorite tropes in TV series, and what are some of your least favorite tropes? I believe we've answered this before. I love bros coming together and overcoming adversity.
Yeah. Enemies to heroes is a great trope.
I love old men coming out of retirement and doing what they're really good at.
Yeah.
In the face of younger men and women. I hate telling me the plan. And I hate, especially when you show me exactly the plan.
And then the plan doesn't work.
Because the plan will never work. You're never going to be like, hey, here's what we're doing, and then we just do that.
It's so universal that is the case.
Yep. Absolutely. My favorite part, or time that's ever been done, was Matrix 2, when Morpheus is like, tonight, the prophecy will work. And it's all it's doing is showing all the terrible things that are happening, you know? But like it's doing it at the exact same time, so it's not taking up too much volume in your script.
Sure.
Yeah.
That always bugs me. But
I hate arguing during Mortal Danger.
Yeah.
I hate characters arguing and seemingly intentionally misunderstanding other characters in order for drama to continue far past when it should have ended.
Sure.
If they had just sent a text or when there was a simple misunderstanding, they would be like, wait, what did you say? Instead of, blowing up and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. Lights and beeps on bomb triggers. Not necessarily bomb triggers, but tracking devices or bugs, like listening devices.
Stuff that's supposed to be never seen or heard.
Yes. It is supposed to be stealth.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Enhance is pretty bad.
Enhance is very bad.
Enhance gets less bad the further we go into the future.
That's true.
I feel like.
You're right.
But also, you can't create something from nothing.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we have, AI upscaling now, but that's still not,
It's still guessing.
It's not gathering data. It's generating data.
Yeah.
So, generally, when it's made, it's so that the detective can see what high beam is in the window reflection in that person's glasses reflection. It's that type of thing. Where it's like, you can't. That's not how that... But, in the future, maybe you can do something like that.
I hate the trope of spherical objects giving a perfectly flat reflection.
Yeah. Okay. I don't like in English, please.
Oh, yeah. I hate that. Explain it to me like I'm 5. Yeah.
That happens a lot. That one can be kind of annoying because it's just like, all right, yeah. We don't trust our audience to understand what's happening here.
Exactly.
Or the explanation that you gave is so mired in bullshit, we have to then explain it. But there are some that I love. A lot that I love, actually.
Even though it benefits the story.
Yeah.
To like have the hero survive. I hate villains that like they could just solve all of their problems by killing the hero now.
Yeah.
My favorite.
When they have been such a thorn in their side up to this point.
I think one of my favorite turns in a story ever is Alan Moore's Watchmen. When they go to stop Ozymandias from destroying the world, we're gonna, he's sat there and he's telling him all the whole plan and everything. Like, all right, we're gonna stop you, Ozymandias, and he goes, "What do you mean? I blew him up 30 minutes ago. There's no possible way you could stop me." And he was right.
Yeah,
that's my favorite one. And it's like, oh, there is no superhero ending to this. That's why it's so good.
Yeah.
We had one of those recently in something we reacted to. Yeah. I wouldn't want to spoil it anyway.
Sure.
But yeah.
Yep.
Are you guys planning to do cutscene reactions from games like Batman Arkham Knight, Mortal Kombat, Injustice, stuff like that?
We're more likely to play the entire game than
I would
just
say so.
react to cutscenes.
I mean, cutscenes are cool, but they're like the really good cutscenes. It's because you're really invested inside the game. I get you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have no interest in.
I like doing like cinematic trailers for stuff that I might not play.
Sure.
Like I've never played Overwatch, but I enjoyed all those Overwatch trailers.
Exactly. The Overwatch shorts, the character shorts. Yeah, those were great, but they weren't content that was explored in the game, surrounded by gameplay that is then kind of cheated out of.
Sure.
Like if you would ever want to play that game again, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know where the story leads, and it kind of just robs that experience from yourself.
Agreed.
Gara asked, would you ever consider doing a classic anime poll from the 90s? Polls are a really tough thing to balance because we try to keep like anime, animation, and live action in some kind of relative balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of, I guess maybe not a lot, but a lot of the stuff I want to watch from the 90s is longer stuff.
Yeah.
As well.
That's true.
Which is kind of tougher to put on polls too, because that will lock something up for a long time. Sometimes it's great with Hunter x Hunter, but you still don't get that vote for a couple years or whatever.
Yeah, there's certain series need to hit certain sweet spots when it comes to like how interested are people in watching us watch. Like there's certain things where I'm like, I would love to watch that. I don't know if anybody would watch us watching it.
Yeah. It's also tougher to do polls like that since we moved from 5 options to 10.
Yeah.
Because we used to do 5 options, but now it's 10, and it's.
But we also used to kind of like play guesswork. Sometimes we used to do the yearly collection of data, which let's be frank, not a lot of people necessarily entered. Some people, a decent amount, but not so much that we had a good data set on the whole internet.
We had data, but it wasn't exhaustive.
Yeah.
But
the recommendations on blindwave.com now are really starting to help.
It's definitely more where we want to be as far as that goes. The updated recommendations are going to give us like an immediate idea of what's popular right now that we can fill our poll with going forward, rather than data that we collected maybe 6, 8, 10 months ago.
Yeah, and we do a tiny bit of engineering with the polls too. Like, there's 3 animation polls. Animation is anime and Western animation. And generally we want to have at least one of them running.
Yeah.
Right? So right now there's 2 animation, 1 anime polls. If the anime poll were to end right now, we would do another just anime poll. No Western animation. If one of the Western animations ended and we still had a Western animation and an anime in that poll slot, it'd be a mix.
Yeah.
If there were 2 anime running, like we're always trying to keep one on there. So sometimes you have stuff like that will make it so that we're not going to put a 90s anime on a poll. We might do just something of a certain length sometimes. Sometimes we have polls with like nothing over 100 episodes, and that can disqualify on a poll that we're doing now, and it might not disqualify it the next time that poll comes around. So a lot of little tiny rules and stuff that we have in place for that type of thing.
Yeah,
It's true.
going back to an earlier question again, TV tropes that we hate.
Mhm.
I'm surprised you didn't bring up the X hours earlier trope.
Oh, yeah.
Someone brought that in chat, but also
Yeah.
referring back to something that we watched this week, the waking up from a dream and everything has changed trope is
It's the hardest one to use well,
it is.
I think.
It is.
It's
It
been
is.
done.
It has.
It's
but-
been done well,
If you're a screenwriter
very rarely.
and you're like, can I do this?
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it.
You just don't want whatever you've put your audience through emotionally to feel invalidated. Those feelings can still be valid even in a dream, but it better, like your subtext better be clear. Yeah, I
Yeah.
better know exactly why I watched this person go through this for no reason.
All right. Let's get to one more, and then I'll get to bits and donations, I think. And maybe we'll
All
come
right.
back if we have time.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Let's see. We'll go with this one. Favorite movie series for everyone. No Star Wars allowed.
Okay.
Kingdom Hearts.
Favorite
Movie series.
movie series.
So I would say it has to have it more than 2.
You said Kingdom Hearts?
You did say Kingdom Hearts, which is not movies.
I said Kingdom Hearts?
Did you not say Kingdom Hearts? I feel like
He
you
did say Kingdom Hearts.
What did you mean to say?
Well, I didn't say. I said the movie series needs to have more than 2 in it.
I know you 100% said Kingdom Hearts, but I don't know why.
Check the tape.
Gonna have to go back and watch it.
I'm so confused.
Because
you said
what
are
must have
your
happened is Aaron must have possessed me,
yeah.
taken over my body, because
Kingdom
That's
I
not
certainly
even-
did not say that.
He said it. That's okay, movie series, not Star Wars.
Do you call the Neil Breen movies a series? Probably not.
Are they
I'd allow it.
in the same? Are they connected to each other in a continuity?
I quite like, more than I thought I would, the Psycho movie series.
Okay.
Because obviously the first one's a classic, it's one of the best movies ever made. And then you look at that and it's like, well, it's not Alfred Hitchcock. They're going to be terrible.
Sure.
I think the second one is surprisingly good. And the third one's not too terrible either. So that's sort of a one people might not think of.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like my answer is cheating. It's Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I was trying
But
to think
also,
of
it
something
wasn't
else.
like it is 3 movies, but it was also shot all at one time, so it's not like they could see reaction and pivot. It's like, no, we shot what we shot. But I would have to say Lord of the Rings, but again, it feels like I'm cheating.
Yeah. Other than that, I would say maybe like John Wick.
John
It's a
Wick.
really great franchise.
One of Aaron's is James Bond,
Yeah, James
which
Bond
I
is.
enjoy a lot of the James Bond. I love the Rocky movies,
Yeah.
including the 2 Creed movies that I've seen.
Weirdly, like the Tremors franchise
Yeah.
Okay.
is
yeah.
one of my
sure.
favorites.
I enjoy the Highlander franchise for all the wrong reasons.
You do.
I absolutely love that first one. If you haven't watched that reaction, I think that's a very good reaction. The Highlander reaction that is on YouTube now. I think it's on YouTube now. Not, it'll be there soon.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I'm big on the Mission Impossible franchise. Across 7 films, the quality is pretty high. across
Mission
that
Impossible,
many-
yeah.
that
I would
many.
Yeah.
say- I could go
More
with that.
bangers than not, I
Yeah.
think, with Mission Impossible.
I mean, I know that some people don't love the second and third, but I love The Matrix. The
Oh.
first 3 movies.
Yes.
100%. The fourth I've only watched one time when we reacted
Sure.
to it. I got to rewatch that. There's talk of a 5th, I had heard.
I had heard a rumor about that.
But I mean, I just love for a set of action movies.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a lot of deep thought put into it too, sure, but just what it was able to achieve in the first one is the second and third don't get to that part, but the highway scene in the second one is one of my
Definitely.
favorite chase scenes of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy the Godzilla franchise.
Yeah. Just once a franchise has so many installments, and you have opportunities for, like the MCU, I enjoy all the time, but it has highs and lows and dips and valleys, and once you get to like 20 movies of varying degrees and focuses, it's hard to even call it like a movie series.
It kind of just like levels out.
Yeah.
Graduates.
I'm almost disqualifying it as a candidate.
Although it is like fun being a Godzilla or a James Bond fan, where like no matter what your mood is, you have one of those movies that's going to probably fit it.
True.
There's something for you. I definitely agree with that.
I guess I looked at those more as like a full franchise versus a series.
Series.
Like you could
Like
take
you could
like,
say Captain America, I guess.
like you could take a section of Godzilla and be like the Heisei era.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's a good. Like I would say that because those like 7 films are really good and they're have a solid continuity.
I mean the Star Trek films, I think.
Yeah.
Like more of those are good than bad, probably.
Are you talking about the like the next gen, the original series movies?
I've only really seen original series stuff.
Okay. Yeah. I think there's only one, maybe 2 of those that doesn't really track for me. But no, I would say more than not. And the next gen movies that I've seen have been great as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, bits and donations. We have some questions in here, I think.
I also have the memes up.
Ooh, memes.
I'll have to see them through Eric's screen because I can't see it and read these. Let's see. Where are we at? Purple Grape Grace for 45 months. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Damn it.
So the background for this meme is what, Eric?
We had a leak in the building. Farfetch uses leaks as a weapon, so he is the source.
There's a leak in the boat.
Yep.
Oh, I should have.
When you asked me, I completely forgot the context, but I found it.
Should have given Jake that video because I took a video of the leak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe next
That's
time.
one of my favorite jokes in movies of all time.
I've been told that movie was entirely made just for that one joke, pivoted around it.
Fomarak,
But I haven't actually seen it.
58 months. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Fomarak. That's almost 5 years.
It's substantial, and we appreciate it.
Very much.
Dickus Bickus with 63 months.
Hey, that's over 5 years. Thank you.
Is.
Diggus Bickus.
Why is that starfish on here? Damn starfish.
Because it looks like underwater.
Yeah. Okay.
Gara, 11 months. Hello. Next month will be my 1-year subscription and my birthday. I'll be 40. Fun fact, I was born on Mother's Day.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy
Calvin,
birthday.
Is this your sandwich?
That is
Birthday
my
next month.
sandwich.
Oh, that's
So big.
Odette, thank you for the 27 months.
Thank you, Odette.
Thank you so much. Oh, Jesus, it scared me.
He's staring at me.
Yeah.
Rupaz with the Tier 3, 34 months. Any plan for ReZero Season 3? It's coming back this October.
October.
Damn.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, that's on your S tier.
It is. If I can't get these guys on board, Maggie and I will do it.
Oh, I'm 100%
I'll watch
there.
it again. Yeah.
That was a fun show.
That's good. And accurate.
Yep. Indeed. Miss Timmy Fantastico for 41 months. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Timmy.
Thank you.
This is a new one, so I don't know how to say it. Koa Laking IV. Thank you for the first time subscription.
Thank you.
Thank you. Probably butchered it. I apologize. Geek Ledger. 2 months. Hey, yo. Love you guys. Keep up the great work. Happy old channel anniversary.
Oh, thank
Thank you, Geek.
Thank you very much.
Love you too.
You know, sometimes you take a picture and you know it's going to get memed.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as I saw that picture, I'm like, yep.
Sliam Pimmel Gaming TV. Subscribe for the first time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sliam.
Doorman.
Ah.
Thank you.
I asked this question already, but also 100 bits from Schliam Pimmel Gaming TV. He asked about reacting to video game cutscenes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Gotcha.
I mean, I suppose if it's a game I'm never going to play, I would at least give it a try. It was like
D Joker XD anniversary time 6 months. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Zurakono Yaro for the first time. I appreciate these first timers, but I haven't memorized the names.
Thank you, guys.
So thank you very much. Confused as frick I can get though. Also a first time.
Yes, thank you.
T-Ken, number 1. Also for the first time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't have the super chats though. I don't know if we missed any.
Let's see here. We had John. He says, "Hey, are you guys still friends with Shane? I've talked with Shane every once in a while." John also says, "What do you guys think is a benefit of anime as a medium over and against live action mediums?" What do you guys think is a benefit of anime as a medium over and against live action mediums?
It's a benefit for me. I'm autistic, have trouble reading human faces, and anime is over exaggerated.
Yeah.
So I get it. And it connects more with me.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's just, as a person that grew up watching cartoons and comic books, it felt like it was rewarding me more as an adult when I watched anime.
Yeah.
Than when I was otherwise. I love anime's visual language. I feel like it's a hell of a medium if you can say, this is so anime.
Yeah.
And it has its own character, its own way of doing things. I love when animation is given so much attention to detail and love and creativity, and you can find that in anime in spades, and it's really rare in other places.
It's true. Just being able to visualize like over the top powers or abilities or situations which would be difficult to describe or represent in a 3D physical space.
Yeah.
I think is something that it like I think that's its biggest strength really, is just having the ability to show you something that otherwise you couldn't really show.
Yeah.
And have it, I don't know. Like the more outlandish you get in live action with like CG and stuff like that, the more there's a separation between the actors and what's happening.
Sure.
And I feel like because it's all the same medium, it's all the same textures, kind of it lends itself more to just investment in that world.
Yeah.
I think anime being from a different culture, I like see things I never thought of before. More often, I'm like surprised more often, and like just especially when it comes to like creature designs and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I mean, anime was such an inspiration as a young kid that liked to draw.
Yeah.
Like so many times like when I was a kid, like there was no internet to go and like show me a picture of Legend of Zelda, I couldn't do that. I had to buy the strategy guide and then open it up to it and be like, that's what I want to draw, But anime, you could pause, you could look, and you could watch, and you could put your paper on there and try to get the shapes right, So that's a big one for me too.
To like piggyback on Calvin's point is because we live, we see so much, we're so trained to like pick out what is real and what isn't.
Yeah.
So doing some things in like even the best CG, you look at it and go, that just doesn't look right.
I can tell that's not real.
Whereas anime, it can break rules and it's just fine because it has enough separation already that you're like, okay, that's just what this decides to do as a medium. That's fine.
That's a better way of saying what I was kind of trying to say.
Yeah, I picked up and I was like, I think I know what he's saying.
Yeah.
And it's just like the rule breaking it can do that live action can't break.
We have another subscription on Twitch, Abandon, for 52 months. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abaddon.
Abaddon. Yes.
Abaddon, yeah.
I always say Abandon because it's also, I mean, it's a devil, but it's a creature in Persona.
Okay.
I've always called it Abandon. It's like you and the Deku tree.
Yep. The Deku tree.
Also, Story of the Gods said, I'd like to apologize to Rick because it turns out he did not say Kingdom Hearts earlier.
We need the clip.
I need the clip. What did he say?
We need to know what
Everybody
he
in
said.
chat said he said it.
Because everyone in chat, everyone here heard it.
You know what?
Do we
I
have
don't
the
want
clip?
to know.
Huh?
I don't want to know. I want
You
to live
don't?
in ignorance. It's fun that it couldn't have happened, but we all experienced it together. A mass hallucination, if you will.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We're going to be back tomorrow. What are we going to be back tomorrow with?
Pokemon.
Tomorrow we got Pokemon. Me and Aaron continuing on in our race against time and how far we can stretch our Pokemon boxes, because we are, at the end of the day, trying to catch as many Pokemon as possible. And you know what? Aaron's not here. I tell you what, he ain't listening to this either. I know it. I'm gonna talk.
He's right behind you.
No, he's not. But my strategy that I've kept from him is like I'm purposely not trying to catch many Pokemon, because in the early game it's hard to catch Pokemon. You know when it's easy to catch Pokemon? At the end game. So I'm kind of rushing through. I've caught a decent amount, but I'm really saving myself to go back with Ultra Balls and just catch as much as possible. I'm waiting to do that, but Aaron's also just too fast too. So
very nice.
My strategy's starting to break, but I think as soon as I realize I need to catch 50 more Pokemon, I'm ready.
Nice.
All right. Also, don't forget there's going to be a special stream on Saturday as well.
Yep.
Starting at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Where we are going to be going up against the esports team from Marietta College, which is going to be the same place that Wavecon is taking place. It's just Wavecon, blindwave.com/Wavecon. If you're interested in watching that stream, it is this Saturday, 10 a.m. right here at twitch.tv/blindwave and our YouTube gaming channel.
Absolutely. We would appreciate if you guys come and support us. But I think what a lot of you might enjoy more is support them to beat us.
Yeah.
Because it's probably going to happen, and you might find someone like a champion to root on.
Maybe. And who knows what that person will graduate and then go on to be.
Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.